Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be trying out these Guinness baking mixes, and we're going to be starting out with the beer bread mix. So first things first, you'll have to go out and buy a Guinness Stout. Here I'm just using the Guinness Extra Stout since I couldn't find just a regular one. So go ahead and open that up. I just used the end of a can opener. And you're going to need 1.5 cups of Guinness Stout, which is 12 ounces, but in one bottle it's 11.2 ounces, so I figured that would be good enough. So after the head of the stout subsides, the foamy part, you're going to add 1/3 cup of molasses. And what I like to do, instead of dirtying up a measuring cup, because I know molasses can be pretty hard to get out, I instead just weighed it out. And so 1/3 cup of molasses is 113 grams. So now we're going to mix the molasses into the stout, and eventually you're going to get this light brown yellowish color, and that's when you know it's mixed enough. Just to let you guys know, I found these 2 baking mixes at Aldi's for only $2.99. Now we're going to be adding the baking mix that comes with the box into our stout and molasses mixture. I like to add half at a time and then mix to make sure that it gets fully incorporated before I add the other half. Eventually, after enough mixing, you're going to end up with this light, airy bread mixture. You can see that when I run my spoon through it, there are still some air bubbles from the carbonation from the stout, and so you don't want to deflate those. So this is going to bake in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And then after that, we're going to lower it to 325 and bake for another 45 to 60 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean and the top of the bread isn't shiny. After about 15 minutes of cooling in the pan, you can go ahead and remove it. The taste of this bread kind of reminds me of gingerbread. It's really hearty and kind of dark. The 2 strongest flavors obviously are going to be the molasses and the stout, especially in the aftertaste. The box recommends trying this with butter or jam, and I could see that being a very good pairing. Next, we're going to be trying out the chocolate stout cupcake mix. Again, you're going to need the Guinness Extra Stout, but instead this time you're only going to need 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. Into our mixing bowl, we're going to be adding the chocolate cupcake mix that the box comes with. To that, we'll be adding 4 tablespoons or half a stick of room temperature butter, but keep that other half because we'll be needing it for the frosting. And then you're going to be adding 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. At this point, I started mixing, but I quickly realized that this seemed way too dry and I actually forgot to add the stout, so don't forget that step. I'm just using a metal whisk here, but you can also use an electric mixer if you have one. This box mix can make 8 cupcakes, so go ahead and either grease or line your cupcake tin and evenly distribute the mixture. And these are going to go in the oven for 14 to 17 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, you can check if they're done with a toothpick. Now for the frosting, we're going to be taking the other half of the room temperature butter, so 4 tablespoons, and then either with a whisk or an electric mixer or a spatula like I'm using, you can go ahead and mix it until it's light and fluffy. To our butter, we're going to be adding 120 grams of powdered sugar, or this equals out to 1 cup. And then we're also going to be adding the frosting mix that comes in the box. You're just going to keep mixing the sugar and the frosting mix and the butter together until they resemble pale yellow breadcrumbs. At this point, we can go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of milk or milk substitute, whatever you want to use. And then again, we're going to keep mixing until it gets a creamy texture. Now we can go ahead and start frosting our cupcakes. I just used an angled spatula just to keep things simple. So the last thing that comes with the mix is this caramel topping, and you're just going to go ahead and knead that for a few minutes. You can even run it under hot water for a little bit, and then just go ahead and drizzle however much and whatever design you would like with the caramel on top of the cupcakes. These are definitely not your normal everyday cupcakes. I think that there's a richness and a depthness that the Guinness Stout brings to the chocolate flavor. There isn't really too strong of a beer flavor in these cupcakes, so if you're not a big beer person, I wouldn't let that scare you away from making these. Overall, I would definitely recommend trying out these 2 mixes if you see them in your local stores. And again, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.